So, all right, Providence Friars. That is the sleeper team for us. And again, I think we're throwing controversy around in this Big East preview, Steve, because Providence won the Big East at least at the end of the season. Before the tournament started, they led the Big East. It was a dream season for Providence, though. They had everything went their way: 27-6, 14-3 in Big East play. They were at 82% win percentage in the Big East. A lot of really interesting things went down for them. They got some transfers coming in as well. This team was last year a fluke of a season, or just like everything was perfect, cloud nine. I don't think they can make it happen again. Or as you and I might think, because we got them as a sleeper team, they could really show that they could do it all over again.
This is a conversation. If we pulled every podcast for the last 25 years that talked about Providence and the Big East, the same kind of things you pointed out, well, they were lucky, or they just went on a good run, or everything came together for them. But almost every year they seem to be in the tournament and even going to the second weekend of the NCAA tournament. That's by design. Okay, it's not divine providence, but it's by design that Providence at the end of every year is good. Another school that has tradition of bringing in one or two of three players, having supplemental players fill out the rosters and complement and play off the strengths of those big talents. And then at the end of the year, everybody says, how did we lose to them? Providence is the reason that analytics cannot be part of college basketball discussions, because every analytics geek is going to say Providence is lucky. Providence plays above its talent. No, it doesn't. It plays with its talent to its talents. And Providence is going to be a player in the Big East as long as there's a Big East.
I'm with you. I mean, they started their season 21-2 last year. They wound up going 27-6 at the end of it. But the biggest thing, they went 16-1 at home last year. They know how to protect their home court. And I think they used to call it the dunk. I think they're calling it the amp now. I mean, the atmosphere there. Like if you were going to talk about amazing atmospheres in college basketball, I don't think Providence would come to your mind, but it's one of those ones.
For me, it would, yeah.
Well, that's good, but I don't think it's one that the majority of people would pay attention to, but it's one you should. It's one you definitely should. And you're right. They find a way to make it to the second weekend. They lost in the Sweet 16 this year, but you know who they lost to? They lost to Kansas. Kansas won the whole damn thing. So I like Providence. I think this team is an easy sleeper for me. These are the 5 teams in the Big East that I think could, with the exception of Creighton, because I think Creighton is in its own category, its own right now. I think the other 4 could be in second, third, fourth, or fifth. And no matter way you look at it, and I would be completely understandable with it. Wouldn't bat one eye if we saw a team like Villanova fall to fifth for a year. And it'd be like, okay, well, that's what happens with a first-year coach, maybe. And we see Providence go up to second. I could totally see that happening. Any of the teams we just talked about, they have a chance to win the Big East. I just don't think it's going to be anybody but Creighton.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's the fun part about these previews is that, we're able to kind of we're trying to project out what we think is going to happen based on history. But with a team like Providence, it's easier because their history is they defy the odds, they defy the projections, and they end up in the tournament virtually every year. If not the NCAA, then they're in the NIT. And that's what makes following teams like Providence. And that's a road trip that maybe we need to make at some point during the history of this podcast that we do. It is an unbelievable fan experience.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. And that's something we definitely should do. We should get on the road with this thing.